morning and welcome to the latest edition of Wet Tropic News Online, where your one-stop shop for all your local news, events and community reminders. So if you don't recognise my face, I am Shane Reader, the tipping panel columnist, and your new news anchor. So let's get straight into what's been happening locally this week. The Cassery Coast version of the Monte Carlo Rally is fast approaching. This year the event is being staged from King Reef Resort, Curramine Beach. The rally tour is for classic vehicles over 30 years old and kicks off at 8:45 a.m. on Saturday the 10th of October and will finish the following day at 10 a.m. If you are interested, grab a copy of this week's Wet Tropic Times to find all the information and contact details to get involved. Last Thursday, the Year 12s from both Innisfail State College and Tully State School were looking a little different without their typical uniform. They were all looking very smart in suits, ties and dresses for their respective formal dinners. Innisfail Shire Hall hosted Innisfail College students and the Tully students celebrated in the Tully MPC building. Both affairs were a wonderful celebration of the end of their secondary schooling education. This year's formals were held 2 months early and looked a lot different due to the COVID-19 as gatherings were strictly limited. Lots of photos were snapped in their formal attire with family and friends, and a great night was had by all. A beautiful table was recently set at the Villanova Aged Care Facility for a special gentleman's high tea where the men were spoiled with exceptionally delicious and beautifully presented food. And as an extra special treat, they enjoyed being entertained by Jack Fairclough on vocals, accompanied by Thelma Malik on piano. The gentleman's tea was a way to spoil dads and have the men relax and socialise with friends and family. All dads were also given a chocolate treat thanks to the South Johnson State School Junior Red Cross. Innisfail and Tully District Show Societies have been the very thankful recipients of a share of more than $2.1 million from the Queensland Government Show Society Grants Program to help them conduct their annual shows. Innisfail and Tully are two of 103 societies and associations in the state and will receive $20,000 each to ensure the shows can continue running and provide entertainment to local communities. We look forward to these social events kicking off again, hopefully in 2021. The funds generated from these shows will go a long way to help the local Queensland communities unite and recover from the effects of COVID-19 pandemic. Sugarcane growers in the Herbert River districts are celebrating the milestone of achieving more than 100 cane farming business accreditation in the industry's voluntary best management practice program. Together, the accredited businesses manage 40% of the region's sugarcane land at or above the program's benchmark. The program has funding from the Queensland Government until 2022, so anyone interested in participating should contact the Cane Growers Herbert River office for more information. The Palaszczuk Government has released an updated Wet Tropics of Queensland World Heritage Area Management Plan that increases the protection of the area's environmental and cultural values while supporting economic growth and recovery. Member for Barron River, Craig Crawford, MP, said the plan fulfills Australia's obligation under the World Heritage Convention to conserve and manage the World Heritage Area. This covers 900,000 hectares from Townsville to Cooktown and follows an extensive review carried out by the Wet Tropics Management Authority over 3 years. To view the updated plans, head over to www.wettropics.gov.au/management-plan. 9 touch football players from the Cassery Coast have been selected in teams to compete in the National Youth Championship, a 4-day carnival which will be held from the 30th of September to the 3rd of October during the Queensland school holidays at Sunshine Coast Stadium, Boccarina. 30 keen touch players from Cairns to Mackay attended the trials, and from these, 14 girls were selected for each of the 3 teams. So it's a very impressive achievement to have 9 girls from the Cassery Coast region. Great job, girls. We all wish you the best for the National Championships. The Cassery Coast is famous as the birthplace of some champions, including some household names like Billy Slater, Ty Williams, Ashley Southern, Paul Fleming, and of course Kim Carroll. Now, Steve Corica, who is currently head coach of Sydney FC and an inductee of the club's Hall of Fame, will be the latest to be added to the Cassery Coast honour roll of commemorative signs. The words home of Steve Corica will soon greet visitors as they enter Innisfail. with council advice over the coming weeks where the sign will be placed. As a community, we are very proud of Steve's achievement and we'll be delighted to display this sign. Alright, now we are going to check in with Sari, who's in Ingham, with Amy Aquilini talking about traumatic brain injuries and the impact they have on people.
So we're here to talk about TBI awareness. Can you introduce yourself?
I'm Amy Aquilini. I had a quad bike accident 7 years ago. I died and they brought me back and spent 2 weeks in rehab. Intensive care. 2 months in surgical 2 or 3, and then as an inpatient for a year, but I was still, I wasn't allowed to leave Townsville, so my family relocated to Townsville, so that we were all together, as a family unit, because we are really close.
So I guess for people who've never experienced this, I've also experienced it. So I was hit by a truck and I ended up in intensive care for about a week, and then I was in one of the care units for, I can't remember specifically, I think it was 4 weeks, and then I was in the transitioning back into, I never remember names of things, sorry, this is kind of part of the accident, I just don't remember names of things. So essentially I was at hospital for 10 weeks, but then I had to be in out of care arrangements. So we had my mum and my mum, she rented a unit and had me there. So then we would be able to go back and forth to the facility in Townsville Hospital. So it's an interesting journey, and me and Amy are just here to kind of talk about the experience, to make sure that people understand that it's a difficult experience and it's an ongoing impact. For the rest of our lives, we're going to be suffering through this. Me, the worst thing is names of anything. I just don't remember. So it's a challenge, but we really want to raise awareness, because we can look what people call normal, but we're not what other people would say is normal, if that makes sense. So essentially the biggest challenges of what we're going through is what we want to help people just understand, because people don't understand it. And it's one of those things that there's lots of groups out there now trying to bring awareness to the ongoing impact for people who are recovering from a traumatic brain injury. So that's why I'm here with Amy today, pretty much to help people get it, essentially. So what areas do you think people need to understand the best?
I think how we lose track of where, what we're doing and stuff. I have really bad, where am I? I lose track of time really quickly, and that sucks. I lose hours of the day where I don't even know what I've done. Yeah.
So your short-term memory?
Short-term memory is poor. It's getting better. It's all I think, the way you structure your mindset now. Because it's if we're all, this is crap, that's negative, I fixate on things at times. My big thing at the start was Sons of Anarchy. Oh my god, I had Sons of Anarchy everything, posters, wall hanging clothes. Oh, it was crazy. I can probably recite that series off by heart. Yeah. But I think it's all about I think we think more that people don't understand, but I think maybe sometimes we put it into our heads that they don't understand. Yeah.
Okay, so you're thinking that sometimes you've met a person and you thought that they didn't understand, but they actually did.
Yeah.
But you didn't understand
it. Yeah. On the defense, a big thing was overcoming my anger, and that was so hard. I've had to completely change my mindset, and I've gone really positive and holistic with my lifestyle now. And I'm pretty much a repellent to any like negative energy, stress. No, thanks. I don't want you. Go home.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's just. Yeah, it's a big thing for me is chronic pain, and today is one of what I call my pain days. So I didn't have a good night. So today, like, I'm not having a good day. No, like, it is a good day, but it's a lot foggier than what happens normally. Like, I'm finding it a lot harder to find the words I'm looking for.
Yeah.
To talk today. Yeah, that happens quite a bit.
Is that regular?
Yeah, yeah. Probably. Like, I'm trying to build a business at the moment, and like every day I'm hustling trying to get stuff done, and probably one day a week I can't even look at it. Yeah. And at the moment I'm just trying to find like something that'll structure all my posts so I can just have them all scheduled and it can be easy. And yeah, I find it really hard to learn and adapt to things, but like I'm a visual learner, so I do things like a how-to on YouTube and stuff like that. Yeah.
Actually, I spend a lot of time on YouTube learning how to redo stuff.
It's awesome, hey?
Yes.
Oh, it's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess what you're wanting is to schedule posts to find out if somebody knows what kind of app you can potentially purchase to then schedule it on. Which places would you want to schedule?
I use Facebook. I've fallen off the face of the earth with Instagram because it just got too hard to like run that with all my life and what's happening at the moment. But yeah.
Well, I can say that I do have a social media guru who helps me out with that kind of stuff. And now that Facebook and Instagram are linked, you can actually use the Facebook to manage and schedule posts on your Instagram.
Oh, awesome. How good is that? That is, yeah.
So essentially what you're saying is it takes you longer to figure that stuff out and you need to make sure that you schedule time to do it visually.
Yeah, well, I'll get an app and I can't get it straight away. So then it's like, oh crap, where's the next one? And I've just got to pick one and put time aside to just sit down and focus.
Yeah. So I guess you were saying that you think people understand a little bit more because I guess when we're talking about a traumatic brain injury, I personally have felt that people haven't understood because I look too normal.
No, that's a big part of it. No one sees like our struggles. Like we grew up awesome. Like I'm talking 4-wheelers, ski boats, in machinery here and there and everywhere.
Well, you're kind of lucky. I did grow up on a property, but I didn't have all that kind of equipment. But my dad did have a boat. He would take us out boating. Yeah. In his little tinny.
Yeah.
So I can't smell properly. I have like one sense of smell, and it's actually a positive sense of smell. So I'm lucky that I don't have one negative sense of smell.
Yeah.
I have one sense of smell, and it's a positive smell. So, tiredness, that's something that I also experienced. Like I think we mentioned it earlier.
When I get tired, my speech slurs really bad.
Yeah, so
like today,
if I wake up, I can't go back to sleep. That's my biggest issue.
Oh yes, I've had to train myself with my sleep over the years. Oh my god. Like I've learned about breathing and it is so complex, the stuff I look into now. Like I never used to. I think I was living life subconsciously, and now I think about what I'm doing. Yeah.
So do you have a journal to help plan things out?
I'm really bad with my memory, so there's notes everywhere, but it's all a mess. So I've got, I'm using Google Calendar at the moment, and I'm trying to get myself into the routine of checking my calendar as soon as I roll over in the morning.
Well, I can actually say that I transitioned to Google Drive because in Google Drive I can drop files. I don't have to worry about whether I remember my laptop or my computer. Everything's all in the one space no matter where I go, because I also, memory is terrible for us. So essentially I've come up with these strategies to make sure that I can. So yes, I use my Google Calendar and I use my Google Drive, my personal access through my email, which then means that all my files, I don't have to worry about a computer or an external hard drive. They're all on my Google Drive. Yeah.
It's a big thing to try and like learn all these new skills to try and overcome. Okay, so I've got this problem, how do I counteract it and all the rest of it?
Yeah. So that's actually one of the things that I have tried really hard myself to do, is to counteract that stuff, because I can see the problems. I have a terrible memory. I guess it's interesting to show all this stuff, because I guess what do we want to tell people when they're dealing with us, like when they're working alongside us? Like, how can we help our family, our friends support us? Because it's an interesting journey. It's a tough journey.
Yeah. Just be kind. Like when we get stuck or whatever, don't make us feel like we're idiots because we can't find the words or whatever. Or, you know, if we get stuck on what we're saying and you know where we're going, say something. Like, don't just stand there.
Yeah, I have to say that, because I think some people have underestimated my intelligence because I couldn't find the words
same.
to explain myself. So they thought that I didn't know what I was talking about, but I actually knew. I just couldn't tell them that I knew. And that's actually one of my ongoing challenges, because I am a reporter / media person. So my huge challenge is I know what I want to tell you, but I can't find it.
No, that's a big thing. At the moment, I'm finding it really hard to get things done just with the two boys and like just life, I guess. But like I'm trying to structure, like have more structure so that I can say, okay, here is when this is happening, here is when that's happening.
Yeah.
But be okay with things getting in the road, because you know it's life.
Yeah.
For me, being so into my fitness has helped with a lot of my chronic pain and like a lot of my memory issues. So I've been able to learn how to counteract, this is happening, okay, well I've got to do this, or stuff like that. Is
there anything else you would want to add for people watching us?
Nothing that comes to mind. Not at the moment.
Alright, well, I'm just going to say goodbye, and thanks Amy for chatting to us about what it's like to have a traumatic brain injury, because that's something we've both been experiencing. So
thank you very much. See you all later.
Alright, thank you.
Thanks for that, Sari and Amy. We hope you enjoyed this week's overview of local news. Grab a copy of Wet Tropic Times today for the full stories, plus much more. Thanks for watching and have a great weekend.